Episode 5 of our city building here. So in case you haven't tuned in, we basically built a large portion of our city with using primarily just cable cars to populate that portion of the city. So all of this that you're seeing here is made possible because of cable cars, including this small residential section here. As you can see, we've got some pretty high-rise buildings, maximum level 5, and hardly any cars on the road. So we took that little experiment and extended it all the way to this new island here. So even though there is a freeway going through this island, we're actually not connected to it. So again, all of these buildings, all of these population is made possible by cable cars. So keep in mind, we're going to be using cable cars throughout this city as our mode or means of mass transit, which I know is highly unusual, but that's a part of what makes this city building kind of fun. It's kind of an unconventional way of building a city. So we're gonna focus on building our industrial and commercial zone in this episode. I think I'm gonna extend the city on the east side here. So I'm gonna buy these 2 pieces of land, I think. Yep, I just did. So because the reason I bought the east side of the map is because there's a railway connection. So what I'm gonna experiment with today is building an industrial zone, I guess, up here, followed by a commercial zone down here. So let's start off by putting down a cargo train terminal. Yep. So we're going to put down a cargo train terminal. Let's go ahead and connect that to the main line. Let's see. Oh, that's an interesting connection. Not the best of angle. Let's oops, I should have just moved that. Let's move this road closer to the rail line, because I don't want to waste space. And again, throughout the city, I've been building roads with bike lanes, and you'll see why. I tend to like my citizen, or prefer my citizens to use bikes and walk on the sidewalk as opposed to riding their vehicles, and that's worked out well for us so far. This is a little too close. It's a little too close to the main line, but that's okay. I just need a tiny connection. There you go. That's all we need. Maximizing space here. Perfect. Alright, let's get rid of this here. Let's go ahead and build more roads. So that's going to be for our industrial zone. I'm going to put down another rail train station, but this time it's going to be for our commercial zone. It's really just a normal train station to carry people. I'm hoping to put down 2 of these eventually, but I think I'll just start with 1. Well, actually, if we were really trying to optimize our space, we could have put down the cargo train terminal a little bit further up north. So let's actually do that. Let's see if we can move this guy. First, let's delete the connecting rail lines, and then see if the computer would let us move this a little bit further up north. Try not to waste space here. Perfect. So let's go ahead and reconnect that to the main line. That is absolutely perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. That will do. So we just want the train to zoom in, zoom by, and then zoom out. Move this over, I guess, here. Perfect. And I'm tempted to put down 1 more railroad track, or 1 more train station, but I think we'll stick with this for right now. Let's go ahead and put in some temporary power. Good old wind turbine always does the trick. So you can see there's a great demand for both residential and commercial zones, so we need to zone some. Let's do a construction cost of 200. I use that as a way to measure distance between the tiles. That was not intentional. Again, keep in mind that I'm playing this on the PS4 Pro, so if I seem a little retarded on the way I'm laying out the road, it's because it's very hard to control the movement of the quote-quote virtual mouse using a control pad. As for the water, let's connect to the main water line of our original city. Maybe I'll just extend this all the way to the top. And then just like branch off like this. Okay, so we got power, we have electricity. Let's go ahead and zone. That's probably good for now. Let's not zone too much. Alright, so here we're gonna zone our commercial zone. You know what? I'm just gonna extend this all the way down. And of course, people are not going to be coming into our industrial zone because there is no means by which people can work in our industrial zone, so we got to fix that. Let me just lay down some roads here. Can you guess which mode of transportation we're going to use to populate our city? Hint, hint. Cable cars, of course. Oh, look, people are actually moving in. Well, okay, that's very promising. Let's go ahead and connect electricity from our main city. This is gonna look a little ugly, but I'm gonna need to run this power line across. Like this. Maybe onto the next to the freeway like that. And then just run it. Oh, that does look ugly. But it's okay. Maybe eventually we'll tear that down and just put a solar power plant. Oops, overdid that. Let's see, where are we? Oh. There you go. Okay, so we've got commercial industrial zones zoned for now. What we're missing, of course, are the usual suspects. Fire department. Police department. Clinic. We don't want people getting sick at their workplaces. Let's self-contained area, so I might need to put an incineration plant actually. Maybe it will be nice this time and actually branch that off into its own road so we don't pollute Where should we branch that off to? Or just put it close to the water for now, maybe? No, I don't know. Maybe an overpass? Nope, that's not overcomplicated. Let's go ahead and just put a road down there and put an incinerator right there. We're also going to need a crematory, which is quite expensive. We'll put it in here. It's a part of a service that will be provided. Oh, we forgot to lay down some proper plumbing for our city. So let's go ahead and do that now before they get upset and move. Doesn't move away. So if you haven't noticed, we're building this commercial industrial zone kind of on its own. And there's a reason for that. Which we shall see in a moment. Also noticed, our only point of connection to anywhere is this two railroad station. One is a cargo railroad station. The other is just your normal, just people train station. So if we observe the traffic pattern, currently there aren't any. We are gonna need to bring in people here at some point, obviously. I'm trying to see where is the best way to bring in a cable car. I'm thinking probably close to the train station, as in the people train station. So what I probably should do is move this guy over here, as well as the crematory. Move the crematory on this side. For that matter, we should move all these city services on this side, because this is going to be our main highway, actually. So we don't want our city services to be mixed up with the usual highway. We don't need, I guess we do need power lines. Let's go ahead and extend the power lines from... Why don't we just temporarily extend it from here to here, and then from there. I think that's okay for now. So of course our commercial zone and industrial zone will develop nicely, but we're gonna run into problems very, very quickly, as you will see, because with no point of connection to our main city, how are people getting to work? There you go, now you're seeing the problem. So let's slow down the game. And let's go ahead and create our first cable car connection. And maybe we'll use a subway connection later on as well, but let's start off with a cable car. I just love cable cars. So first you gotta put down the end of line cable car stop. With an upkeep of only 272, that's actually pretty cheap. Now this is kind of tricky putting this down, because it has to face the right direction. See where the little arch area is? That has to face the direction that you want the cable line to that's perfect. So let's see, so from there we want to create a cable ride that goes all the way to our main city. I'm thinking here, believe it or not. We should pick a spot where there's a bus stop. Oh, that's perfect right there. So that is going to be one very long cable car cable. Oh, it's not even going to let me do that. Can I do this? Oh, it has to be at an angle, huh? Okay, let's do this then. Just have to get the angle just right. I think the computer's not gonna let me put down... It's not gonna let me rotate it. It's not gonna let me put it down the other way. It's interesting. It really wants to be that way. Okay, okay. I guess we don't have a choice. I wonder if I can do freeform. Nope. Alright, well, let's not be too picky. Let's go ahead and just connect this. I want to create a straight line if I can. There you go. Perfect. Alright, so let's just kind of watch things. So let's go ahead and start building a new residential zone because we do need to expand our population. So I would say, where should we build it? I suppose we could just build it here. Or build it where the cable car is going to pass by. It's actually not a bad idea. We're not really going to connect our residential zone to this. We're just going to use this as a guide. Yeah, our city's going to look really funky. That's okay. It's going to be part of the design. It's a mighty big residential zone. So we need to add a cable car stop right here. So if you're just joining us, we just built this new section here of industrial and commercial zone, and we are zoning or creating what would be a new residential zone. We're purposely making it a little offset and different from the other zones that we've done in the past. And again, we're using roads that have bike lanes on them because we want our citizens to be physically active, use their bikes, and get off of their computers and mobile phones and actually walk. I'm going to try to do a grid-like city here if this would let me. Wow, it really won't. So we've got a very healthy city with a very healthy bank account. We've got 9.3 million in our bank. That's really good for a city this size. If you think about it, we only have 55,000 people, and our bank account is 9.3 million. I think most players at this point are taking out loans to fund their city, whereas we've got more than enough. We could loan to other players if we wanted to. Haha, if we could. So let's see. I just wanted to create a perfect grid of sorts. It's not really going to be perfect. The terrain is not leveled, so you're going to get an optical illusion that the grid is not perfect. That's just the way it works. Okay, so that's going to be our city. I think we can just use that middle line as some sort of like city buffer. Okay, we're going to break the cable car line because we're going to need to put in a cable car stop. Let's pause the game because we don't want those people who are in mid-air to die. Oh, I'm gonna need to put this thing where there's a road already. I see. Let me put back the line so I can use it as a guide. So it looks like I might need to have a road going this way, maybe? And we'll put another one right here in case I missed it just slightly. We're gonna demolish this road in a little bit. But anyway, the cable car stop. Which way does it need to face? I need it to face the other way. Oh, that would work. One more block over. Perfect. I think. Sort of. Not really. It says invalid shape. Why is that an invalid shape? Oh, also it's the wrong orientation. I need it to be that way. So what we need is a road that goes a little bit deeper like this. And put down the cable car stop. Something like that. That's close. I don't think we're ever gonna get it perfect. That's good enough. Connect. Connect. Perfecto. Alright. So we're creating a residential zone that's basically going to be cut off from the rest of the world. The only way to get in and out in this exclusive residential zone is through this cable car. Alright, so well, what do we need to build? We're going to need, obviously, a fire department, the usual city services, a police station, clinic, crematorium. What else? We're obviously going to need a school, elementary school, and a high school. What else? We're going to need trash collection, so we're going to need to build an incinerator. Why don't we? So we're trying not to connect our residential zone to our commercial and industrial zone that we just created there. I know it's a very strange way of creating a city. Who creates residential blocks in isolation? We do. Alright, let's go ahead and unpause that. We're gonna need to run some water and electrical power. So let's run electrical power to our main services there, main city services. And water, of course. So we're just doing an experiment to see if we can build a industrial zone and a commercial zone where they are connected to each other, but then build the residential zone disconnected from all of that and using only cable cars. Yeah, I don't know if this experiment will work. We will see. Seems like the commercial district is doing pretty good right now. I wonder if we need to add a cable car stop right there. What if we run a bus line? Huh. Suppose we could do that. So let's put a bus depot down. So that's a bus depot. Wow, $7.20 a week. That's not cheap. Maybe we should create another cable car stop. Could bring in a subway in there. Let's start with the bus idea and see if that works. Let's create a bus line. It's one of the things I don't particularly like about the bus system is the amount of time it takes to lay out a bus line. Probably way too many stops actually. Alright, let's just head back to the beginning, no matter which way the computer wants to take it. Let's go and complete line. Let's see if that will help get some people there. Oh, you know what I forgot to build is a park. Oh, you know, we forgot to zone our residential zone. Silly us. Let's go ahead and zone our residential zone to be high densities. And don't forget to build a park. You need parks. Let's move these guys out of the way so we can complete the road. Let's go ahead and delete these roads as well, so we can maximize our space and build more commercial zones. I'm probably just going to keep these as the high polluting industrial zone because they're not really connected to any residential area, so no one is really going to complain. Move this park out here. So again, we're building roads with bike lanes, although maybe that only really works in residential zones, because I don't really see anybody taking their bike. I guess I do. I guess some people do use the bike lane. We may end up upgrading this to like a 6-lane or 4-lane highway later on instead, or 4-lane road rather. I should move the city services where the cable car. Oh, we can't. Let's see how many people our cable car is ferrying. 342. Wow. That's a lot. 96. 438. Wow. Well, look at that. With just one cable car connection from our main city, we're beginning to populate our high-density residential, which is helping to employ, well, which is helping to develop our commercial and industrial zone over here. Let's just go ahead and fully zone these. These are all going to be commercial or residential zones. Let's build some parks. Like, let's develop this into a high value residential zone. Want more parks like over here. They're going to be out of power for right now, but that's okay. So I hope our city can develop to have a population of 60,000 within the next 40 minutes, but we'll see. We didn't build a big enough of a commercial zone, industrial zone actually. So our residential zone is connected to our industrial and commercial zone through this sole cable car line connection. So you know what we're going to do is we're going to add a footpath. If you've never done it before, well, now you can watch me do it. You can add a bicycle path, bicycle lane path. That goes from here, let's say that goes from here to there. Well, let's do the same thing here. And let's do the same thing here. So hard to target. So the left and the right side is not connected by vehicles, but the people can travel through by using cable cars or the bicycle lanes that I just put down. So the bicycle lanes are not being used now, but as you'll see later, the citizens will start to use them. So the bus depot and the bus route here, I don't think it really helped too much. Well, I guess it's not really hurting, so. go ahead and zone more streets here. Because I'm thinking what I might want to do is move the commercial zone downwards here. So the industrial zone has more room to grow. Okay, perfect. And so we can facilitate, well, you know, I think we're doing okay for now. We do need to get more people in our industry though. Wow, look at our residential zone. It's developing quite nicely. So I have found that if you build a park and then a botanical garden, that tends to really increase the land value. So I'm hoping as we build up our residential zone here, they're going to look for work and hopefully look for work here. It is, after all, within walking distance or a cable car right away. So the computer wants more commercial zones. Let's look at our water situation. Oh, we need water. Very nice. I'm tempted to set up another train station there, which is kind of what I was thinking originally. Tram, subway, train station. Thinking a second one here so we can bring in more people. Maybe start a little tourism area. Maybe. Let's not build any more industrial, let's not zone any more industrial zone until all of these are populated with workers. Oh wow, we've already almost maxed out our residential zone here. Let's go ahead and prepare for more. Prepare for future expansion. measuring everything with a construction cost of 400. Okay, perfect. That's the way we want it. So we've got 3 zones. We've got our residential zone, which is not connected by roads to anything. It's just through this cable car stop. It is connecting to my main city here, and it is connecting to our industrial and commercial complex zone here, again only through that cable car stop. We built bike lanes, which currently no one is using, and so if we look at our traffic flow, with a population of 56,000, our traffic flow is 91%. That is spectacular. The only traffic that we're seeing is in the industrial commercial zone areas. Look at our residential zone. And these are all high density residential zones. Like 0 traffic practically, right? There really aren't any traffic. And you know why? Because mostly people are just biking and walking. And basically just use roads with bike lanes so that citizens are forced to walk and use their bikes. And by not having a connection to the outside world, the residential area is actually pretty secluded and cut off from most vehicles. So yes, you can create a residential zone that is secluded from the rest of your city, as long as you provide a means for people to get to your residential zones. In my case, I'm using a cable car as a mode of mass transit. And if you've never used cable cars before, cable cars are available in the mass transit DLC. And I just discovered in the last 3 days that it is a highly effective means of transporting people from point A to point B. Look at this one. This one cable car is servicing 1,014 people last week. That's crazy. That's like more efficient than a subway. Look at this one, 894. How about here, in the middle of our residential zone? 582. So I mean, that's really good. And compared to a metro line, cable cars are very, very low cost. So you'll be saving money and you'll be transporting a lot of people at once. It's like a win-win situation there. So guys, the goal for this broadcast is to try to reach a population of 60,000, and we're pretty close to that already. And the experiment of can we extend our city with using only cable cars to connect the industrial zone, commercial zone, and residential zone only through cable cars. We're only using one line right now actually. And bicycle paths. I think I'm gonna need a second cable car line, I'm thinking so as well. Let's see. So if you don't know how to construct a cable car line, well, first you gotta construct an end-of-line cable car stop for 15,000 with a mere 272 per week cost. That's very, very little. It's like next to nothing. Look at our bank account. We've got 9.6 million. And we're earning, what is it? 13,000 every week. That's really good for a city of this size. I think I'm going to create another end of line stop, maybe right here. Kind of anal. I kind of want the line to go through mostly straight if possible. The line is going to be like that. So I'm going to want my end of line station to be like right around there. Perfect. Perfect. Of course you want power. That's okay. and power you shall have. But first, let's wait. Let's go ahead and build more parks. So parks are very important because you want your city to grow and be high value land. I'm just gonna go ahead and just pre-zone this in advance because this is where I want my city to develop next. And again, if you look at my city, hardly any cars. Everyone is just walking or biking. Then this is what you call a green city. And look at that, with a population of 57,000, our traffic flow is 93%. I mean, look at my city. The only areas that have traffic are the ones that are involved with the industrial or commercial zone, because you have to have road traffic on those zones. We have a fire over there. Hope the fire department gets there on time. Very nice. Look at our city. Oh, look at, there's a big demand for more commercial zones. Let's go ahead and build more commercial zones. We're actually running out of space. I didn't think I was going to fill up this space this quickly. We may have to extend on the right side of the map here. That is piss poor planning on my part. Did not plan that correctly. Can I build underground? Of course not. Really? I can't? That sucks. I guess I'll have to build above ground. Let's see what is the best way to lay out these power lines. I guess we don't really need all of these power lines anymore. There's so many of them. I needed them in the beginning when we were just developing our new zones, but now we don't. I don't even think we need this. I'm gonna destroy it and see what happens. Nice. So that's our little trick there, guys. Sometimes you can use park to bridge the electrical gap. Very nice. Very awesome. Let's go ahead and build more botanical garden. Or maybe a park, actually. Park right here. And guys, if you're wondering why I'm laying so many parks around my city, that's because I want to develop them into a high land value city. And you know, part of that strategy is making sure that your citizens have quick access to city services. Because how are we doing on our school? Oh, we're gonna need another school. Let's put one here. How about on... I think we're doing okay on high school, and we're doing okay on university. I'm thinking I might build one here eventually. I'm not quite sure where yet. Wow, this residential zone is growing a lot faster than I anticipated. So we're gonna go ahead and add more bike paths. If you've never done that before, it's in the landscaping area. There, it's called bicycle path. So basically I'm going to connect my residential zone to my commercial zone using a bike path, which means no cars allowed. That's right, no cars allowed. We're very anal about that policy. So if you look at the traffic in our residential zone, look, there aren't any. Why? Because we've effectively banned vehicles. Vehicles are not allowed in our residential zones. So the only traffic that we should be seeing will be in the commercial and industrial zone. And if you look at the industrial and commercial zone, they're not connected to a highway. See that? No connection to a highway. It's just self-contained. So goods and services are moving in and out through this cargo train station, as well as these two normal train stations. They're people station, and people are getting to work from this residential zone to this industrial and commercial complex through this cable car here, which currently is servicing how many people? 534 people a week. We have two of them. We got one right here, and that is servicing 286 people right now. So that's pretty good. We did create a bus route earlier. I don't know if we really need that, but that's okay. We'll keep it, I guess. Actually, let's check on that bus route. We kind of did it haphazardly. We didn't really plan it very well. Yeah, as you can see. But it's doing its job. Our residential zone is really turning out to be very, very nice. I'm a bit tempted to add some office spaces, office zones around our commercial zone. Thinking about it. Or around our residential zones, I mean. Look at these high-rise buildings rise. So they're level 4 and almost 5. Increased land value, blah blah blah. So they want more city services. I don't know what else I can give them. Giving them almost everything. Got clinics, got 2 clinics. Got 2 fire departments. We got 2 police stations. Let's build more parks. We're trying to increase the land value of our buildings here. And you're wondering, why are we building so many botanical gardens and parks? Because we can. Because we have the money and the bank account to do it. That's why. Look at that. We've turned this area into basically a high land value area. That is in fact the highest land value land area in my city, probably. Or it will be if it isn't now. Let's look at the land values. It's not yet, but I'm sure over time it will as those parks do their jobs. Very nice. Oh, our first high-rise building. What is that? It's a high-density commercial building. Very nice. So this has been a very successful experiment. So guys, this is a good example of you can build a residential zone right here that is disconnected by vehicles, by roads, you know, to the industrial zone and the commercial zone. The only way it's connected is through cable cars. I have 2 lines running through this residential zone, and also bike paths, which very few people are using, but at least the option is available. No, there's actually some people using it. Yeah, so if you provide walking paths, bike paths, walking paths between zones, specifically between residential zones and, you know, commercial and industrial zones, your citizens will walk. They're not against walking. You know what we need to build? We do need to build some office zones. We could just cheat and just use the sides here and build office zones. Why not? I don't normally zone outside of my little perfect little grid, but I think in this case it's okay. Very nice. Oh, we're very close to our 60,000 population goal. So we're earning a decent $12,000 per week with a 9.6 million bank account. That's really good for a city of this size. Oh, we got fire over here and over there. We need to demolish that. My fire department is slacking off, letting buildings burn. So if you look at my city, with a population of 60,000, not a single blinking icon. Like, there's nothing wrong with my city. This is crazy. When was the last time you built a city with 60,000 population and there's nothing wrong with it? There's nothing blinking. No one complaining about anything. These are just happy people. You know why? I'll tell you why. People are happy because there's no traffic. My average traffic flow is 92-93%. That is mind-blowingly good for a city of this size. Well, at least there's one problem right there, two abandoned buildings. But other than that, I mean, the city's coming along really nicely. It's doing really good. So it looks like we have a pretty good template here that we can follow and extend our city all the way to 90,000 in the coming episodes. Basically, we can just build a large residential zone like what we've done here. Right? And then build industrial zones and commercial zones. You know, don't connect them by road, because if you do, it's just going to create unnecessary traffic. And also this industrial zone and this commercial zone, it's not connected on the road either. It's not connected by road, it's only connected by rail. Pretty crazy, right? This is a nice template. We're gonna follow this template going forward. Maybe we'll do it on this side, since we own that land now too. Very nice. So I'm expecting that this much residential area is probably going to add like 10,000 to our population. Considering that we're at 60,000 now and our ultimate goal is to reach 90,000. We just need to replicate this template like 3 more times. And we'll hit 90,000 very easily. We'll have a nice healthy bank account and a nice weekly income. Look at our weekly income. It's 13,000 right now. That's very good. Let's double check our city services. Electricity, how are we doing? We're doing decent. We're going to have to expand our array of solar panels, solar generating energy thing there. What else do we have? Water. Our water capacity. Oh, we need to expand that as well. Let's go ahead and do that now before we forget, so that in later episodes we don't have to think about it. Let's do one more. Let's go and extend our sewage treatment plant. We already have so many. It's crazy. And if we're gonna buy another solar array, I guess we might as well just do it now. No, I think we're still okay with non-electricity. Our garbage, so we've actually eliminated landfills in our city. We don't have a single landfill. So just in case you didn't know, once you're able to build a incinerator plant or a garbage incinerator plant, you can empty your landfills and then ultimately demolish them, as long as you build enough incinerator plants in your city to accommodate, all the trash. So in here we have a fairly good amount of incinerator plants. I don't really think we need to build any more. That's one nice thing about having a good flowing traffic, is that you don't have to build so many redundant city services, like so many incinerator plant, because the garbage trucks can easily get from point A to point B because there's hardly any traffic on the road. I am tempted to demolish that intersection because that's just generating traffic, but that's necessary because that's actually foot traffic, believe it or not. Wow, look at my citizens. See guys, if you build a city where you don't focus on roads and you focus on bike lanes and foot traffic instead, your citizens will happily walk. Look at that cable car station servicing 448 people last week. This one's 720. Wow, that is crazy. So this is our main connection from our original city to this new city that we just developed in the last, I don't know, how long has it been, guys? 40 minutes or something like that? I don't even know. This little experiment went a lot better than I thought. Looks like we can extend our city for the next episode, maybe up here. We got plenty of land. Let's see if our garbage guy can reach these. Oh, look at all these high-rise buildings that we have. Very nice. Love it. Wow, like level 5 residential zones. That is so cool. And they develop because they're near... I don't know. I'm just happy they develop. Why are my garbage people taking so long to pick up garbage? There's hardly any traffic on the road. Let's look at our garbage. Let's look at our incinerator plant. What are you doing? And these are just busy. There's only one truck right now that's out servicing. Really? I've given them a budget of 150% and there's only one truck that's servicing my city at the moment. Yep. Oh no, I didn't. I only gave them 100% budget. That could be why. That's okay. So if you're looking at my budget, the reason I gave 150% to healthcare is because when the death wave comes, every few years a chunk of your population will die. Although I really haven't experienced it much in this game, in this particular city game that I'm playing right now. You need a lot of hearses to haul off all the dead people to the crematorium. That way you don't see those flashing skull bones all throughout your city. At least that's a technique that I use. Very nice. Again, I don't know why my garbage truck is taking forever to pick up that trash. That is just crazy. I could create another incinerator. Maybe the city is just getting too big for one, one incinerator. Could create one. Maybe branch off here. Anyway, these are incinerators already here. So it's gonna look like the city is connected, but it's really not. There you go. More garbage trucks. Alright, well, we're doing really good here. Much better than I thought we would do. We started the game with a high demand for commercial, and nothing's changed except our population grew. Actually, when is the next milestone? Oh, we're very, very close to the next milestone. What are we gonna unlock? New features, monuments. We can actually unlock the monuments when we reach a population of 65,000. Very cool. I think what we'll do is just hit 65,000 if we can, and then we'll call that a complete episode. I am still bewildered as to why I now have 2 incinerator plants servicing this residential block here, and they just cannot get the trash. Oh, they finally did. Slackers. Taking forever to get the trash. Looks like we might have built a little too much of everything when we developed this area, because we built so many parks and so many incinerators. So that does have a downside, because look at our weekly income. It went down to 6,000 per week now. I think it was 14,000 per week when we started the video. So maybe in the next episode we might have to scale down our expenditures. We went a little too crazy, I think. Or, you know, I did anyway. So that's what our city is looking like. There's still such a high demand for residential and commercial. How else can I extend this? I'm gonna have to go, like, create an overpass. Maybe. There's no good place to create an overpass, though. Alright, we're approaching 65,000. Let's just go ahead and hit that milestone. Is this completely built out? It's saying we need more parks in Plaza. Really? We have so many parks in the city. So if we look at our land value, let's check it out. Wow, that's really good here. Very cool. That's a nice looking industrial zone. Aero design, high-tech gadgets, fine fashion. Let's look at our library. University, we're doing okay. Oh, we need more. Oh, we need more schools. Let's just build schools at the outskirts of town, I guess. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna build that school. I'm gonna move that school, rather, to over here. Do we need another high school? We do. And maybe a university? Yes, we do. I'm hoping to build a university there, but it doesn't fit. There we go. We reached our 65,000 goal, so now we've unlocked the international airport as well as monuments. Wait, we're already at Megalopolis? That's it? There are no more goals? Oh, that's interesting. For some reason I thought our goal was 90,000 to unlock monuments and new buildings, but apparently we've already unlocked it at 65,000. Wow. So you know what that means, guys? That means we can build monuments. Ooh, that would be a fun episode to do next. I don't think we need these power lines anymore. I do want to build a university. Let's go ahead and build a university. Maybe here. Let's go ahead and build some offices here. It's kind of nice. If you look at the next to a university. Look at this marvelous residential zone we built here. High-rise buildings, look at that. You know why? Because there's no traffic. There's literally no traffic in that part of the city. Look, it's just nice and green. It's a green city. That's why they're developing as high as they're developing. That's crazy. High-rise buildings. Yes. Level 5 residential zones. High densities. I wonder how we can develop this lower part there. The middle part is really, really developed. Can build parks. I wonder if that would help. Wow, that is like so developed. Let's hope our fire department is not slacking. Oh my god, my building is on fire. Well, why are we having power issues? Are we? I just saw a power symbol. That's not. Wow, these are nice looking residential buildings. The Belmont Residence. Very nice. Whoa, look at my commercial zone there. Very nice. Getting some high-rise buildings as well. Who would have thought? Wow, look at our income. It's 15,000 every week now. Very nice. Look at that. I almost thought of demolishing those parks as we're spending so much money every week on them, but with an income of 14,000 a week, might as well just keep them. All of this is made possible thanks to cable cars. Yeah guys, so if you've never played City Skylines with using cable cars as your primary mode of mass transit, you're totally missing out. Look at this cable car stop. I'm only paying $272 a week for this building here, and look at how many people it's servicing. 476 people per week. That is an insane amount of number. Look at this one, 532 per week. It's cheaper to run a cable car system in your city than it is to run a taxi cab line or a bus line or any mode of transportation, really. Look at that, they're developing so nicely. High-rise commercial buildings. Oh, need to provide water for that park there. Little hole in our... little gap in our water pipes, I think. We're not running out of water, are we? Oh. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you develop really high-rise buildings, zones, and in residential zones. Alright guys, well this is I think a pretty good spot to end the broadcast, but just as a quick recap, we just built these new zones here. We built a new residential zone, a new commercial zone with 2 train stops, and a new industrial zone with 1 cargo train stop, and it is super successful. It is actually working really well, and the reason it's working so well is that in the residential area here of our city we ban cars. So there are no cars here. Everyone is just walking on foot. I mean, there are some cars, but very few. And again, for a city that's got 68,000 population, my traffic flow is 91%. That is incredible. We have a bank account that's approaching 10 million, and we're making 14,000 every week. This city is probably one of the best cities I've ever constructed playing this game, and I've been playing this game since 2015. And just look at this commercial zone. Look at that high-rise building that's rising. That is so cool. Even our industrial zone is doing really well. I mean, these are like high-tech industrial zones. Look at that, high-tech gadgets. So these are not your typical industrial zone. These are producing some eco-friendly gadgetry that are high-tech. So if you want to know how we produced all of this, that was just all today in this broadcast. Anyway, this is it. I hope you're all having a beautiful day. Signing out.